Welcome back to Mr. Wicklam's Virtual Math Classroom, where we're going to be finishing off our geometry unit with one last lesson. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be comparing shapes, but just before we get doing that, I want to do a little quick review, and you can just answer these questions in your head. And the first question is, what is a quadrilateral? What does quadrilateral mean? If you said it is a figure with four sides, because quad means four, lateral means sides, then you are correct. What are some quadrilaterals? Well, square, rectangle, rhombus, trapezoid, they all come to mind because they're all shapes that have four sides. If I said the word equilateral, so that term equal, right? Equilateral, equal, sides. Lateral means sides, so equal sides. I just want to be sure that you know exactly what we're talking about. If I said a side or shape with five sides, we're talking about a pentagon. If I said a shape with six sides, such as the ones that I have on display right here, then we are talking about hexagons. And that's what we're going to be dealing with today. We are going to be dealing with hexagons today. And what we're going to do is we're just going to compare the two hexagons. Okay, so you can kind of take a look. Some things look the same, some things look different. So let's take a look at the number of vertices. So remember, the vertices are the corners. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So each has 6 vertices. So edges, you count the edges, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So each have 6, so they are the same. There's nothing different about them in that respect. They are totally the same. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the number of parallel sides. Okay, so the number of parallel sides. So you want sides that are running in the same direction. So if I look at this side right here, do I have a side anywhere on here that's running this way? Well, if I take a look opposite, I have one right here. Okay, I have a side here and a side here that's running parallel, and then these two sides. So I actually have 3 sides. If I take a look at this, I have the exact same thing. I have 3 pairs of parallel sides. Now, right angles. I taught you the trick to do right angles. Remember, I taught you to take your sticky note, take the corner of that sticky note, and the corner of that sticky note is a right angle. So you can place it anywhere on here and see if you get right angles. Well, I don't get one there. I place it here, see if I get one. I don't. Place it here, I don't. I place it here, and I don't. I place it here, and I don't. And one last one right here. I have 0 right angles. Now, if I place it here, I don't have a right angle. If I place it here, notice my lines are running with the paper, so I do have a right angle here. Place it here, that's a no. Here, that's a no. I place it here, I do have a right angle here as well. So I have 2 right angles. So in that regard, they are different, because this one has 2, this one has 0. Okay, number of acute angles. Do you guys remember what acute angles are? An acute angle is an angle less than 90 degrees. Less than 90 degrees. Are there any here? It looks like they're either right angles or they're larger than right angles, so they are zeros, which means they're the same. Obtuse angles. Obtuse angles. Well, this one here actually has 6 obtuse angles, and this one has 4. So they are different in that regard. So all we're doing is just comparing the two shapes. They're the same, got the same sides, same amount of sides, but they're different in characteristics, and these are the characteristics, or their properties are different. Any lines of symmetry. So are there any lines of symmetry? Can we cut it in half and fold it over and it's going to make the same shape? Yes, and yes. So they're the same. How many lines of symmetry would there be? Okay, so with this one, because this is actually an equilateral, which means all the sides are the same, you can go up from here and start at every point, and you can have lines of symmetry. So, in all actuality, so I can go across here, I can go split it down the middle, I can go up over here, down over here, and across. So I actually have 6 lines of symmetry in this one. And in this shape, I can go down and I can go across, and that is it, because it's not equilateral. And I have 2 right angles, so I have 2. So they are different. Okay? Are they equilateral? Yes and no. So they are different. So this one, all the sides are the same. This one, all the sides are not the same. That's all we're doing when we're comparing shapes. That's it. We're just taking a look at the different properties that these shapes have, and what we're doing is we're comparing them. That's all we're going to do. Now, what I would like to do, and what you're going to see in your workbook, is you're going to see where you need to compare these 2 shapes. And what we're going to do is we're going to write it out. And when we compare these 2 shapes, what we're going to notice is we're going to look at the same properties, but we're writing it out. So what's the same? So let's take a look. We need to be sure that we mention the number of vertices. Okay? So are they the same? Number 1. Let's take a look. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So same. They each have 4 vertices. Okay? I don't want to see you write just 4 vertices or 4. I actually want good, decent answers. Just like I do with Google Docs questions, I expect sentence answers. I want the same thing here. Number of edges. So they each have 4 edges. And they each have 4 edges because they're both quadrilaterals. Okay? Number of pairs of parallel sides. Okay, so pairs of parallel sides. Well, I have 1 here, and these 2 can't, because if they keep going, they're going to cross. Here, we have a pair running right here, but these ones are not, because if this keeps going straight up, this one is going to come across and it's going to cross. So they each have 1 pair of parallel sides. What about right angles? I can tell right away that this one has no right angles, and I can tell pretty easily that this one has 2. So they are different in that we'll label this A and B. So we'll say B has 2 right angles. Okay? Lines of symmetry. Any lines of symmetry that you can see here in this shape. So we cut this in half. Would it fold over? Cut this in half? No. Cut it this way? Not really. Cut it this way? No, it's too wide. We cut this way. And looks like we do. So A has 1 line of symmetry. Okay? And whether the figures are equilateral. So they are the same, that neither is an equilateral. So in your book, it's going to ask you to take a look at 2 figures, and it's going to ask you to compare those 2 figures through writing. And it's going to ask you to mention the vertices, the edges, the pairs of parallel sides. This is exactly what I would like to see. Okay? Take a look at that, compare it, and do what it asks you to do. Also, you're going to be classifying some shapes. So you're going to see a Venn diagram. Remember a Venn diagram? I'm drawing it off the page here for you. I apologize, and I'm not using a ruler because I'm doing it freehand. But you remember a Venn diagram, okay? Each circle has its, so quadrilateral, equilateral, and then in the middle, right here, is both. Okay, so something that's an equilateral and a quadrilateral. And what shape would you know that's an equilateral and a quadrilateral? Would be a square, or you could have a rectangle. Trapezoid sometimes can be an equilateral as well. So you're going to see where you're going to classify some shapes. That's where the hexagon, the pentagon, the quadrilateral comes into play with your Venn diagram. That should be simple. That's some review for you to help you get ready for your test that is on Wednesday. Okay, if you have any questions, as always, feel free to ask. This is Mr. Wicklum signing off.